Hello guys, welcome back in Goku Manhwa. Let's continue.
Today's chapter begins with the sharp sound of chairs scraping across the empty classroom. Mitchell, his hands trembling with exhaustion, collapsed into a seat. He clenched his fists. The professor, impatient, stood before him with papers in his hands. "Lazy boy, are you planning to skip the evening study again?" He tried to stay calm. "For now, I will attend." "What did you say?" I only said it so you would not scold me again, sir." A paper hit his desk. Mitchell sighed, resting his face on his arm. "Mitchell, the entrance exam is just around the corner and you still refuse to focus." He smirked faintly. Mocking, he said, "Professor, you know I will succeed regardless." The man pulled him by the collar. "Do you think I never met students like you? Your arrogance hides your fear. You seem brave because you are clever, but in the real world you will collapse." "Yes, sir, I understood." "Stand up. You may leave now." Mitchell dragged his feet. "My leg hurts too much. I cannot walk." "Sir, do you want another scolding?" "No, I am going." The teacher exhaled, controlling himself. "Mitchell." He stopped, uneasy. "Give your best until the end. I am sure you will do well." Outside, Mecho crossed the schoolyard with his bag on his back, indifferent. Leaving the school, Mitchell rubbed his neck in irritation. He acts all sincere, but when he scolds he shows no kindness. "I still have to work tonight. I will only hide the fatigue." It is not for nothing they call him Iron Instructor. In the yard he noticed a classmate staring at something. As he approached, he saw what caught his eyes. Following the line of sight, he found Gylie. Near the gate, the girl waited unaware of the attention. The boy pressed his foot on a ball and kicked it hard. The ball flew past, startling her. "Fool, do you want to frighten me like that? Are you mad kicking the ball this way?" Then Jian-woo stepped closer, confronting him directly. The boy stiffened. "You were looking at your sister-in-law with dirty eyes." Mitchell moved nearer and tapped his shoulder. "Calm down, we are friends." "No, I will not ignore it this time." Moments later, Mitchell called to Hailey. "Wife, let us leave." Laughing as if nothing had happened. The girl froze confused while Jae-in watched, holding back the doubts that grew in silence. Mitchell walked beside the girl, laughing loud. She told him not to speak like that in front of others, embarrassed. He dismissed it. "What is the matter? You are already close to me." "Speak softly," she pleaded. Mitchell only smirked. "But you enjoy it, right?" Later, back at home, they shared the study table. The quiet broke when he noticed a sigh. "Why are you staring? Did I become strange suddenly?" "Hard to believe someone like me belongs to you," he teased. But she did not mind. She lowered her eyes. "When you reach the university you will meet new friends." "Right," he laughed. "Are you worried I may know other people?" "Yes, there will be many interesting students." She hesitated, "and we may spend less time together." He held her tightly. "Do not fear, nothing will change. I care for no one else. If you wish, write it here, belonging to Hailey." Surprised, she asked, "Would you allow me to write that?" He chuckled. "Write all you want." Mitchell pulled Hailey closer and whispered, "Never leave me." Sometime later at work, he received a sealed letter. "What could this be?" asked his colleague. He answered, "An unexpected transfer notice." Shocked, Mitchell repeated, "Transfer." The man confirmed, "Yes, you will move to another branch." He told him to come for a free meal even if his pockets were empty. Michael replied with a dry smile and a cutting joke about the kind of person who would marry someone like that, then laughed and slapped his own knee in mockery before offering a sincere congratulations. He said he was only teasing and meant it as a compliment, that Mitchell deserved happiness walking along the city streets at dusk. Mitchell answered that if he ever married his girlfriend, he would be sure to invite him. Holding the invitation in his hand, images of the future began to form. Buying a flat in Seoul would cost an impossible sum, and furnishing a new home sounded like a job for an older, more settled Mitchell. Would he make it that far, he wondered, then shook the doubt away as softer thoughts of Hailey came to mind. He wanted a comfortable life with her, a place that would calm her nervousness. He smiled at his earlier possessive flair, admitting to himself that a little jealousy was harmless and perhaps even protective. When he reached his street his face changed. Distant shouting rose like a bad wind. People were calling names and pushing at a door. "Where did you hide her?" they demanded. Do you even know where she is, or are you lying? Mitchell opened the gate and found Hailey curled in a corner of the small yard, bruises dark across her arms. The sight stopped him for a breathless second, then he moved and took her hand. She leaned on him, trembling, and through the fear she forced a steady voice to say, "Let us go now." A man emerged from the house, furious and bawling insults. Mitchell stepped forward and met him without lowering his gaze, and when the man swung an arm, Mitchell caught it and held it steady. The attacker ranted that she behaved like the family-invited ruin, that her looks brought trouble young, and he kept on with cruel, senseless lies. Mitchell kept a firm grip and answered nothing. He let his posture protect Hailey rather than returning the blows. Realizing the scene would only escalate, the man shoved him, then reached for Hailey. Mitchell reacted by pulling her close, gripping her wrist, and calling her name like a lifeline. Hailey looked at him, eyes hollow but resolved, and said, "We have to run." Without hesitation, Mitchell took her hand and they slipped into the alleys, racing through narrow passageways and up steep stairs, the sinking sun staining the buildings red. As they ran, she asked why he had taken the beating without striking back, whether he knew how to fight. He breathed out that he did not want to hurt her or make her suffer more. He carried her words like a promise that they would survive together, and he thought if he had hit back then she might have been hurt too. He carried her in his arms, feeling the weight of her shaking form. She buried her face against him, tears soaking his shirt. His hold tightened, as if he could shield her from every wound. Mitchell, his face bruised and swollen, lifted his eyes toward the fading light and thought about how powerless 19 years could feel. Even if he worked endlessly, there was nothing he could give Hailey beyond his own devotion. Holding her close, he whispered that they should escape and build a life together. Deep within, he resolved that his past, his present, and even the uncertain future would all be hers. To his eyes, Hailey, fragile and hurt, was still the most precious sight he had ever known. Between pain and determination, the plea was more than escape. It was a vow carved in silence to live for her. A sharp cut followed. We heard a shout. "Kang Mitchell, have you gone mad? Are you insane? What have you done?" Another cut and the screen showed him wounded. He said he had no wealth, only the stubbornness of youth in years of hardship. And now we saw another figure trembling, gripping him, asking, "Why did you risk everything? Why would you go this far?" And so began a bond born in poverty, a love written in desperation. Another chapter closed for Mitchell. It feels as though a path of redemption is about to unfold for the villain, but for now, all we can do is wait until the next week, and we meet again in the following episode.